You cut me off and think you're gonna live to brag and tell about it, motherfucker? Think again! It's only a matter of time before I catch up to you, and when I do, oh, is it gonna be epic? It's gonna be so epic you'll be kissing my ass not to do worse to you next round. Yeah, motherfucker, taste it! Eat it! Eat it! 5x wreck! Yeah, I am the king of the world. You can't fucking stop. You son of a bitch. First thing that should become very clear is that Split Second is an action-packed game. In fact, it has more action than you mostly see in a racing game, or any racing game for that matter. Short of, I guess, Burnout or the Burnout series in general, I don't think I've ever seen this much mayhem on the road before. Now, what's interesting about Split Second is instead of using the vehicle mechanic where you pick up power-ups to do damage to your opponents, you're actually awarded points as you go for doing different things such as drifts and getting airtime and drafting behind people and other such things. You get these abilities that allow you to literally take the track in front of you and use it as a weapon. This may sound a little lame because you're expecting, oh, I want to shoot at my enemies or I want to blow them up directly, but when you're forced to actually think about how you want to do things strategically as you drive at 85 to 120 miles per hour, it can get pretty tricky and it can turn out to be quite a surprising experience. Split Second tasks you with using these abilities to take out your opponents and still win the race. There's other crazy modes too, which I'll talk about as we go. Let me first say that Split Second's interface for the actual seasons which you'll play through is stylish as hell. That being said, the game is structured like a TV series, in which there are different episodes and there are seasons you play through. You have to beat the main race to unlock each season. Anyway, choosing things is easy, it's simple, everything's labeled clearly, and there's different modes you'll unlock as you play. So when you start the game, not everything's going to be unlocked, but as you play, you'll unlock more and more and more as you go. I'm showing you early footage here, not to spoil anything. Let's just say it gets really, really good versus what you're seeing here later on, but I don't want to spoil any of that. But yeah, pick your poison, whatever mode you want to play, whatever race you want to play, and get ready to experience breakneck speeds, explosions, you name it. It's completely fucking insane. In fact, it doesn't even feel like it should be legal at points, how much fun you may have with this game. And I say may because there's some tricky things about it. For starters, rubber band AI, which I can't fucking stand in most games. I'm willing to look past it because this game is just that much fun to play. But the AI is a royal son of a bitch on medium, and on any harder difficulties, fucking forget it. You'll be lucky if you ever win the race. They just magically show up out of nowhere, usually. Like, you'll have them all blown off the water, completely knocked off the map, and 3 seconds later you're in 3rd place, and you can't figure out how it happened. Another annoyance of mine, and this might be minor, but it depends on the player, is how you drift in this game. You constantly tap the brake and you'll drift around corners, and this is reminiscent of, I guess, Burnout 2 and a couple other games, including the Burnout series yet again. But at the same time, it feels kind of floaty and unwieldy. Your car can completely spin around at points, and it feels unfair when you see the AI just flying past you at 9,000 miles per hour, and you're like ramming your ass up against a corner or grinding up against the wall half the time. But aside from those two complaints, there really isn't much else you can complain about. This game is fast, fun, furious, and fucking insane, as you can see from the footage. The soundtrack is also really nice. You're hearing samples of it in this review. It's like dynamic and it changes depending on how the game is going, so that's very cool in the own fact that you'll hear different versions of the song depending on how you're doing in the race. You gotta hear it to understand it, but it's really cool. I don't really feel the need to go into the graphics in this game. The graphics are fantastic. Explosions look awesome, shit blows up, buildings explode, the ground blows up, everything blows up. Pretty much the entire track blows up after a while if you get far enough into it and power it up enough, because there's a secondary tier to your attacks. The first power play attack is blue and the second one is red, and if you get one of the red ones, watch out, because shit's about to blow up. But I mean, aside from that, Split Second is just a ton of fun. Right here you see me playing one of the modes I unlock later on in the game, which allows you to dodge missiles. And there's one later on which allows you to deflect missiles back at the helicopter, which is even more fun, but I don't want to show that as to avoid spoilers. Just consider a spoiler that I told you about it slightly. But yeah, Split Second is fucking awesome. The only shame about this game is it came out at the same time as Red Dead Redemption and Alan Wake, so it's bound to be kind of overlooked. I highly, highly recommend it if you like racing games, explosions, and, well, let's put it this way. If you think Michael Bay making a racing game would be a good idea, then you're probably going to love this game. If you like Michael Bay movies, you'll love this game. If you like explosions, you'll love this game. In general, if you want a fun game with shitloads of explosions, a lot of fast racing action, and just tons of replay value because there's just a ton of tracks and a lot of variety here, pick this game up. It is definitely worth getting, and again, it'll be overlooked most likely by a lot, especially since Blur is coming out, and Blur is like the hyped racing game. Take my word for it. I played the multiplayer demo of Blur. This and Blur are very different, and while Blur looks to be awesome, this game is also awesome, so I highly recommend you take a look. And ignore the demo. I played the demo too. The demo for Split Second was shit, but the full game is fucking awesome. Oh, and while it's never shown, there is in fact split-screen multiplayer in this game, and there is online multiplayer as well, and this game is a shitload of fun if you can find people to play with. But again, it's a little tricky because not a whole lot of people bought this game, unfortunately. But when you find people, take my word for it, you'll remember those matches you played.